Hi everyone, welcome back to Coding Hives. Today I am super excited to show you how to build an AI-powered dream interpreter. A cool app that listens to your dream, understands it, and gives you a meaningful interpretation instantly. You can see the demo here. Just type or speak your dream right here and watch the magic happen. For example, I will say, I dreamed about flying over mountains and feeling free. You can see the content is coming here. Now I will click interpret. So the app sends the
Snow-capped
dream
mountain,
to your
mountainous
backend.
dreams. Sparkles.
And if you don't like this interpretation, you can try another one by clicking this regenerate.
Snow-capped mountain flying. It might mean your dream could be a
It is cool, right? All this happens in real time. Under the hood, we are using FastAPI for the backend, that is the Python framework handling our AI requests quickly and efficiently, and Groq AI API to power the actual dream interpretation using LLM models. And on the front end, React.js makes the user interface smooth and interactive, including speech recognition and voice synthesis features. So whether you want to analyze your own dreams or build your own AI app, this project is a perfect place to start. Stay tuned. I will guide you step by step through the entire code from setting up the backend to creating this user-friendly React frontend. Ready? Let's dive in and build your very own dream interpreter. First, we need to create a folder on your computer. So here I already created a folder, AI Dream Interpreter. And inside that, I created another folder, backend. In this backend folder, we are writing our backend code, okay? So first, we will set up a Python virtual environment to keep our project dependencies separate, okay? So here we can Python m. It will create a virtual environment named venv, okay? So this creates a new isolated Python environment named venv inside our project folder, okay? Now we need to activate the environment. So we can write venv slash scripts slash activate. So now you can see our virtual environment is activated. Now we need to install the required Python packages, right? So as I told, we need to install FastAPI first. So I can write pip install FastAPI, and we need to install UVCon. UVCon means it is a lightweight server to run our FastAPI, okay? So I can write UVCon, okay? And we need also HTTX. This HTTX allows us to make async HTTP calls, okay? And we also need a .env, that also I can write here python.env, okay? Python.env. This one help us to load the environment variable from a .env file, okay? Yeah, I missed here this one p. Okay, so now for the time being, we can create our .env file. So .env file is to store our API key. Okay, so we are using Groq API. So in the backend folder, I can create a new file named .env. Okay, so in this env file, we are storing our API key. Okay. Why we are writing this API key in this .env file is makes our key safe and separate from our code. While we are pushing this code into GitHub, we can make a .ignore file and we can include this .env in that so that no one can access our API key. Okay. Now we need to create another file named main.py. Okay, so here I am creating one file named main.py. This will be the main FastAPI app file where we write all the code. Okay, import the necessary libraries. Okay, so here I can write from FastAPI. Okay, import FastAPI. Okay, also we need HTTP exception. Okay, so I am writing that also here. So we need to install Pydantic. This is for data validation. Okay, so I can write Pydantic import base model. Okay, and we need also this httpx. This is for http calls. Okay, and now we need os, this to access environment variable. Okay, now we need one more thing, like from .env import load.env. Okay, this is to load the .env file. We also need course, right? So that also we can write here from FastAPI dot middleware. Okay, middleware dot course import course middleware. Okay, this is to allow cross-origin requests from the front-end apps. Here we are using React, right? Next step, we need to load the environment variable. Okay, so here I can write load.env. Okay, so this loads the variables inside the .env file into our app's environment, so we can access them with this os.getEnv. Okay, so that is the use of this code. Next, we need to create a FastAPI app instance. Okay, that we can use like this: app is equal to FastAPI. Okay, so now app is the instance. Now we created the main app object that will handle all incoming API requests. Okay, now we need to add course middleware to allow front-end apps, in this case React, to call this API. Okay, so I can write app dot add underscore middleware. Okay, and in parenthesis we can write course middleware, comma, mention the origin, methods and headers here. Okay, so I can write allow origins is equal to, this means this will allow a front-end app running on a different domain or port, in this case React localhost, to communicate with the backend without errors. Okay, that is why we are mentioning here star. For production, you should change the star to your front-end's URL for security. Okay, and here you can also write allow methods. Okay, so here I can write allow underscore methods is equal to the same, like star. So this will allow all HTTP methods like get, post, etc. Okay, now we need to add one more thing, like allow underscore headers. Okay, headers is equal to the same thing, star. This is for allowing all headers. Okay, we need to define the request model using Pydantic. Okay, so here I'm going to create a model that specifies the data we expect in the request body. Okay, so here I can write class dream request. Okay, dream request. In the parenthesis I can specify the model base model. Okay, here I can write like a dream text. Here our input is some dream, right? So the dream text, then the type is string, that is we are mentioning like str. So here we defined a Pydantic model that specifies the data we expect in the request body. Okay, from the front end. Now here the user must send a JSON like a dream text. For example, I saw a snake in my dream, something like that. Okay, now the next step is load the AI API key from the environment variable. Okay, we already mentioned in the .env file our API key, right? So we can write like this: AI underscore API underscore key. Okay, is equal to os dot get env. Okay, get env. In parenthesis we can specify the name, variable name. So here the same name, that is AI underscore API underscore key. Okay, so this is our API key. Now we need to also define the Groq AI endpoint URL. Okay, so that is the next step that we can write like AI underscore API underscore URL. We need to set the AI service endpoint URL where we will send the dream text to get interpretation. Okay, so here I need to write the URL path as well. So I can write https colon / API dot groq.com / OpenAI /v1 /chat /completions. Okay, so this is the base URL. Next step, we need to define a post API route sending something to the server. So I can write app.post and inside parenthesis we can write the path. Okay, I mean the API endpoint. So here we can say interpret dream. Okay, this is the path. Now we need to write the function name. We can say def interpret dream. Okay, and some request is coming from the front end, right? So that I can see here a request colon I can say dream request. Okay, so here we declared an API endpoint that listens for HTTP post requests that is in the /interpret dream. Okay, it expects a JSON request body matching the dream request model. Okay, now the function we need to make it as async. Okay, so here I can write it also async. So async means asynchronous because we will call the AI API asynchronously. Okay, first we need to validate the input. I mean validate the dream request we are getting from the front end, right? So for that I can write if not request dot dream text. Okay, this is the input. Then we can raise an exception, like we can say raise HTTP exception. Then we can make a status code like status underscore code is equal to 400, and we can mention the detail like detail is equal to, we can say dream text required. Okay, dream text required. This will be true when you are not entering anything and you are simply clicking the translate button. Here, if the user sends an empty or missing dream text, return an error response with the status 400. Okay. Next step, we need to prepare messages for AI. For example, I need to tell AI I want this kind of output. Right? Messages is equal to, as a list I can write in that a dictionary. So here first one is role. Okay, and here the role is system, and here content here I need to give something like you are. So in the content section I am writing something, you can see here like this: you are a dream analyst who provides short, elegant, and emotionally resonant dream interpretations. Keep the interpretation concise. Use clear subheadings like what it might mean and avoid overly long paragraphs. So according to your style, you can change it here. Here, yeah, system. Okay, this one you can change according to your like what you expect from AI. So you can change that as well. Next, we need to mention the user role as again as a dictionary, like a role user. Okay, and here the content is the input, I mean what input the user is giving. Okay, so here I can mention content, then our content is request dot dream text, right? So dream text we can write. Clear? This section is the input to the AI, and this is we are expecting the type of reply from AI. Okay, like what it need to include in the reply that we are mentioning in this content. Clear? Next step, we need to set request headers with authorization and content type. Okay, so here I can write headers is equal to, here I can write authorization, like bearer, then here our API key. Okay, a underscore API key. And one more thing, we need to write the content type. Content type, here this C is capital, so content type is app JSON, right? So we can write something like this, application or slash JSON. Okay, so this is the headers. Now we need to also mention the JSON data. So I can write like JSON underscore data. In this payload, we need to specify which AI model we are using, the messages and the generation settings like temperature and maximum tokens. Okay. So here we are using LLaMA model. We can write that like here model LLaMA 3 hyphen then 8B 8192. This is the model I'm using here. And one more thing is there like messages, that is we can write messages. Also we need to mention the temperature here, temperature, that is we can say 0.7. Now maximum tokens also we can mention here, so max tokens is 500. Okay, so here we provide authorization headers including the API key, and in here this payload specifies which AI model to use and the generation settings like this temperature, tokens, etc. Okay, now we need to call the AI API key, right? So now we need to create an async HTTP client and call the AI API. Okay, so for that I can write async with httpx dot async client. Okay, this one, and here we can make it as client. Okay, so this is the alias name, and here what we can write is we can make a response is equal to await client. This is the alias name, right? Client dot post. Okay, so here we need to send first the URL, I mean the AI API URL. So that one I am writing here, headers equal to headers, right? And we need to pass the JSON as well. So JSON equal to the JSON data. Okay, so this will create an async HTTP client and post the request to the AI API. Okay, AI API, in this case Groq API. Now we will get a response like in this variable, right? This response. So we need to check the status of the response next. So next we need to check the status of the response. So we can write a response dot raise for status. Okay, so this will throws an error if the status code is not 200. Okay, we can include this inside a try block. I think that is better. So I will write a try here, make this all like this. We will write the except case, like any exception came, then httpx dot http status error. Okay, we can make an alias like e here. We need to show the error, I mean we need to print the error what is happening here. So I can write here like a log statement, something like print f string, then http error from Groq API. Okay, and here I can mention the error like e dot response dot status code. Okay, this will show the error. I mean the status code. Also we need the error, so I can write like e dot response dot text. So this will show the error message as well. Okay, clear? So this will show the response code, I mean the status code, and this will show the text. So here we catch the HTTP errors and unexpected exceptions and return meaningful error messages to the clients. Okay, like this, raise HTTP exception. Then here I can write status underscore code is equal to 500, and detail we can mention here, like we are not getting replay from the AI, right? So we can write like error from AI service. Okay, now what is next is another kind of exception. There is like some due to some internal server error that also may happen, so I can write that also here, except as except exception as e. Okay. So here we can write like this, print f string, then unexpected, we can mention this e. Okay, and we here also we can make a rise http exception, and inside this we can write status code is equal to 500, and detail we can say internal error. Okay, detail equal to internal server error, we can write like this. So now next step, what is, we need to extract and return the AI interpretations, right? So we send a request to AI and we get a response from AI. Now we need to extract this response. Okay, so for that I can write result is equal to response dot json. Okay, so this is our result. I mean the interpretation of dream is storing in this result variable. We'll make another variable like AI message, then is equal to result. So here the AI returns many responses. So we are choosing the first one. So here we can write result choice, then like the first one. So we can mention here 0. Then here I can write message, and here we can write content. Now we need to return this result, I mean this message, to the front end, right, in JSON format. So we can write like this, return as a dictionary. We can write interpretation, then here this output is AI message, right? So this one, okay, this one we will pass to the front end, return. Clear? So here what we did is we pass the JSON response, then extract the AI's text interpretation from the response structure and return it in JSON response to the client, I mean in the front end. Okay, so our plan is to make a front end like this, and we need to make it work. Okay, so now we will create a React app. So I will just make this back. So now our React app is installed. Now we will get inside this src folder, and here we will write a file named dream interpreter. Okay, so I'm writing dream interpreter dot jsx. Okay, So here we will use two hooks like use state and use ref. I think you know what is mean by use state. Use state help us to keep track of things that can change on the screen, like the user input or results. And use ref help us to keep references to special browser objects like speech recognition and speech synthesis without making React refresh the screen unnecessarily. Okay. So here I will write like this: import React, comma, we can write use state, comma, use ref. Okay, from React we need to set a constant called the API URL. So this is the address of our backend server where we send the dream text to get the AI interpretation. Okay, so I can write like this here, const API underscore URL is equal to I will write http colon slash slash localhost, then port number 8000, then the name we give there, I think interpret dream, right? Interpret dream. Okay, so this is the URL. Good. So this is the URL. We need to check in the backend we gave this or not. Okay, we can see here we gave, I think, yeah, this is the URL like interpret dream. Okay, so inside this dream interpreter component we will create several pieces of state using use state. Okay, first we will create a variable for dream, so I can write const dream, comma, set dream. Okay, set dream which is equal to use state. So this stores what the user types or says as the dream, I mean the input. Okay, now the same like for result, I will just copy from here. So here we will make it as result. Okay, a result. So this is to store the AI dream interpretation. Okay, and set result. Also we need which lessons track. Next we need to next is one for listening, I mean which track if the app is currently listening to your voice or not. Okay, so that we can make it as a boolean. So I can write const we can write listening. Okay, listening, then set listening, set listening is equal to use state, then by default I can make it as false. Okay, so this is to check if the app is currently listening our voice. Okay, next we need one more thing, something like this, like loading. It shows when we are waiting for the AI to respond. Okay, that also we can make like const, then a loading, also set loading. Okay, is equal to use state, then that also make false, I mean it shows when we are waiting for the AI to respond. Okay, and next we need one more thing to keep the last dream text we sent, like the last dream text. This is to keep the last dream text we sent, so we can generate interpretation if needed. Okay, so that also I can write here const, I can write last dream. Okay, last dream text, and the function we can say set last dream text. Okay, and that is also use state and empty string. Okay, clear. Now we need to use useref hook for the speech APIs. Okay, so that I am going to mention here. Like here we are planning to use two useref hooks. One to store the speech synthesis object which lets the browser to read the text aloud. Okay, one more needed like a recognition, which will hold our speech recognition object which listens to our voice and turns it into text. Okay, so I can write something like this: const, I can give a name like synth-ref. Okay, use ref, and here this one I can give window dot speech synthesis. Okay, like recognition ref. Okay, so here use ref. Initially I can make it as null. Okay, why we are using here useref? Because these objects are not part of our UI state. So they just let us control speech input or output behind the scene. Also updating these won't cause the React to re-render the UI unnecessarily. Okay, that is why we are using here two useref hooks. Clear? Next, we need to write a function to start the voice input. Okay, so I can write const start listening. Start listening. We can make it as an arrow function. This function will start the browser listening to our voice and convert it into text. Okay. So first here we need to check if the browser supports voice recognition. This works mainly in Chrome. Okay. If not support, we need to alert the user. Then we need to create a new speech recognition instance, set the language and configure it to only send the final script. Okay. So we also need to add some event handlers. When it starts, we need to update the listening state so the UI can reflect that. And when it gets the voice input, we need to extract the recognized text and update our dream state. And if there is an error or recognition ends, we update the state accordingly. Okay, so these all tasks we need to include in this start listening function. Okay, so that all I am going to try here. Like if note, I can write a WebKit speech recognition. Okay, in window. Okay, if it is like that, we can say speech recognition is not supported in this browser. Okay, so I can give a message like alert. We can say in this browser. Okay, also we can return. Clear? If this browser node supports, then just simply give a message and return. Okay, next case is the browser can identify the speech, so we can store that voice into some variable, right? So I can write like this: const recognition. Okay, recognition is equal to new, we can write like window dot WebKit speech recognition. So now here we got the input, I mean the voice from voice, and we are storing in this recognition. Now we need to do some setting as well, like recognition dot lang. We can set the language is equal to your English. Okay, so we can write English US. Okay, so we need to configure it to only send the final transcript, right? So for that I can write recognition dot that one is interim, I think interim result is equal to false. Or that means it only send the final transcript. Okay, now one more setting we can change like this: recognition dot max alternative is equal to 1. Okay, start listening and save the recognition instance inside this recognition ref, so we can stop if later if needed. Okay, we can write recognition dot on start. We can set the listening, the listening hook true. Okay, clear? Also, one more thing we need to do, like recognition dot on result. On result, here it is event. So here this means when it starts, we update the listening state so the UI can reflect it. Next is when we get the voice input, we extract the recognized text and update the dream state. Okay, that one we are writing here, like transcript is equal to event dot result results of 00 dot transcript. Okay, this will extract the recognized text. Now we need to update the dream state, right? So that we can write set dream, then this transcript. Okay, and we need to update the listening hook as well. So I can write set listening now false. Okay, now if any error is coming, then now we can also we write something like this, recognition dot on error. That also I can write as an arrow function. So here I can make a console error, like console error. I can write speech recognition error. Okay, this is to just identify if any error is coming or not. Okay, clear? Here also we need to make this listening hook to false. Okay, set listening false. And finally we need to save the recognition instance, right? So that also I can write here, like recognition dot on end. Okay, on end is equal to, that is also an arrow function. Here I can write set listening dot start. Okay, so this is to start listening and save the recognition instance inside the recognition ref, so that we can stop if later if we need it. Okay, so here I can write like recognition dot start, and we can also make like this, recognition ref dot current. Okay, current is equal to recognition. Clear? We need to also stop the voice recognition, right? Like we also need a way to manually stop voice input if the user wants, right? So for that we can write a function for that as well, to stop listening. That is also an arrow function. Here I can write recognition ref dot current dot stop. Okay, also we need to make this set listening false, so I can write false. This function calls this stop on our saved recognition instance and updates the UI. Okay, now we need to write a function to send the dream to the backend and get the interpretation. Okay, first we will before writing the code, now we will write the front end part, the UI design part, and after that we will write the function to send the data to the backend. Okay, I will write this here. We are using one CSS file as well to just to give some basic styling. Okay, so here I'm not planning to show the CSS part as the video may become lengthy. I will share the GitHub code if you need. So here first we need a text area, right? So I can write text area, then rows is equal to, we can give 5, then placeholder is equal to describe your dream here. Okay, and value is dream, right? Dream. We can also make the on change. On change we can write event e, then one arrow function. Here we can write set dream, that is e dot target dot value. Okay, so this much is the text area. So I can write one more div here, div, and inside this I can write a button, then on click we can give listening, right? Listening, and if it is listening we will make a conditional rendering like this, stop listening, otherwise start listening. Okay, and here one more thing we can do, like listening, then we can give a symbol dot and run. I will select a mic symbol here. Yeah, mic. We can say stop listening. Otherwise we can say also, I will take this one. Here I can say speak dream. Okay, you can speak your dream. Clear? We can add also one more button, like button on click. On click, here I can write like an arrow function. Here we will call the function, like the function I can give name as handle interpret. Okay, that we need to write interpret. Okay, this is the function to send the data to the backend. Okay, and this one I will make it's false, and one more thing I can add, like disabled equal to loading. Okay, right, like loading, then this is like a conditional rendering. Here we can say like a symbol I can give brain. Okay, like it is interpreting, so I can give interpreting. Otherwise I can give one symbol like this one I can give. Okay, here I can say interpret. Okay, and now we need to close the button, so I can write button. Okay, button on click. Here like an arrow function. Here we can say call the function I told handle interpret. Handle interpret is true. Okay, we just changed this one. Now I will close this, and here inside this we can say regenerate. So I can select this emoji here. Now we will type like regenerate. Okay, and this much. Okay, now we need to show the result, right? This is the input part. Now we need to show the result, so that I can write here a result, and if so, then we can make a div here, like div. Then inside this I will write one heading. So here I will write interpretation result dot split. Okay, slash n. Now we can write map, then line comma index, and we will make an arrow function like this. As a para I can write key is equal to index, and inside that I can write line dot trim. Now I will explain this front end one more time. First we created a text area, right? So text area, as you know, this is like a multi-line text where the user can type or see their dream. Okay. Now the next thing is, in this on change I wrote like this, right? Set dream e dot target dot value. That means when the user types or changes the text inside the row, React will update the dream state to keep track of what the user wrote. Okay, that is the thing here I wrote here. So below the text area we have another div to hold all the buttons. Okay, so here I wrote 4 buttons, and about the first button, this button let the user to start or stop voice input. Okay, so here the text on the button and action it triggers depends on the listening state. So if the listening is true, the button stays stop listening, otherwise it says speak dream. Okay, so the next button sends the dream text to the backend for interpretation. I mean this handle interpret. Okay, so here the button is disabled when loading is true, meaning we are waiting for the AI response. Okay, and the button text changes dynamically. If loading, it shows interpreting, otherwise it will show interpret. Now for this handle interpret, this button only shows if there is a result available. As I said, it allows the user to generate the AI interpretation based on the last dream text. So clicking it calls the handle interpret true, which uses the previous dream text instead of what is currently in the text area. Okay. So and this button shows a recycle emoji and the text regenerate. Okay. I missed to write a button which stops the AI interpretation from being read aloud. I will write that as well. Button on click and call stop speaking. Okay, stop speaking, and here I will put one emoji. Now we can give a message also here, stop voice. Okay, this much only. Now we need to write the function, right? We need to write the handle interpret function that I'm going to write here. So that is also an async function, and here I can write is generate is regenerate. Okay, regenerate equal to false. This function sends the dream text to our backend AI and shows the interpretation. Okay, so here if the user wants to regenerate the interpretation, it reuses the last send dream. That one I am doing first. So here I can write const dream to send is equal to is regenerate. Okay, then the last dream text, otherwise the dream. Okay, next what I need to do is I need to check if the input is empty, then we need to alert the user, right? So I can write is note dream to send. Okay, we can make a dream as well. If so, we need to give a alert message, right? So I can write alert, then we can say please speak or type your dream. Okay, and we can return. While waiting for the response, we need to show a loading spinner and clear all the old result, right? So I can make that also, like set loading is true. Okay, set loading true, and I need to clear the result as well. So I can write set result is null. Okay, also we can assign set last dream text a dream to send. Okay, clear. Now we need to send a post request. If there is an input, we need to send a post request to our backend with the dream text as JSON, right? So that one we can write now. So I will make a try block. Inside this I can write like const response. Okay, response equal to, here we are using fetch, so I can write await fetch, then API URL, right? Then we can assign the method post, then headers we can mention headers, that also I can mention here. Content type, that is JSON, right? Here I can mention like application slash JSON. Okay, we also need to mention the body, and that one, and that is JSON dot stringify, right? Stringify, and here we can mention the dream text, and here the dream to send. Okay, dream to send. Clear? This is the variable name we mentioned in the backend. This is the data now we are sending from the front end to the backend. Okay, this section we are sending the data. Once we get a response, we need to update the result on the screen, right? That we need to write here, like const data is equal to await response dot JSON. Okay, also we can write like const interpretation. Okay, interpretation is equal to data dot interpretation, or we can say no interpretation. No interpretation found. Okay, now we need to update the result to the interpretation result. I mean, now we need to update this interpretation to the result, right? So we can use like this, set result, then the interpretation. Okay. So now we updated the result. Okay. Now one more thing we can add to make a speech utterance so the browser reads the interpretation out loud, right? So that one also we need to do. I will write like const utterance, okay, is equal to new. Here we are using the speech synthesis, okay. I can write speech synthesis utterance, okay, this one utterance, and in the parenthesis we can give the interpretation. Clear? Here also we need to set the language and all the other details like const. Okay, here I can write utterance dot language, that is equal to English US. Okay, and we can update the ref also, the synref dot current dot speak. Okay, speak the utterance. Okay, clear? So now we need to send if there is any error as well, right? So that one we can write here like catch error, and here we can write console dot error, then here we can write error, then this error. Okay, also we need to, if there is any error, that means we cannot update the result, right? I mean there is no result, so we can set result also, we can show something like this, set result something went wrong. Okay, clear? Also one more thing we need to do like the set loading false. Okay, also here like one thing we missed, that is the stop speaking. Okay, so that one also I will write here the function to stop the speaking. I mean if the user want to stop the speech synthesis, I mean stop voice reading, we call dot cancel on the speech synthesis instance, right? So that also I can write here like const stop speaking. Okay, so here I can write synref dot current dot cancel. Okay, so I think everything is good. Now we need to write a CSS as well here. So in this src folder I am creating one file named styles.css. Here I am not showing the writing the CSS part, the video is already getting lengthy. If you want the code, please ask in the comment section, I will share it. Okay, and now in the app.js you need to do something. We are using styles.cs. Okay, styles.cs. Also we are not using these all logos here. We can also use import dream interpreter. Okay, this one we are importing here. I don't want these all things, I'm just removing. And here I can make a heading like this h1, and here I can put a symbol like this one. Okay, and here I can write dream interpreter. Okay, then in the paragraph, in a paragraph I can write speak or type your dream, let AI decode it. Okay, and here we need to call the component, I mean the dream interpreter. Okay, That's it. Also, you need to add the class, the class names according to the styles.css. Okay. We'll try to run this code. So front end we can run like npm start. Okay. So I will try to run the front end. You also need to run the backend. So I'm taking a new terminal. That is cd backend. Now we need to activate the virtual environment. So I can say vnv slash scripts slash activate. Okay. Now I can run this FastAPI app like this. UVcon, then main app, then the instances app, then we can give a reload. That means if there is any change, it will automatically update. Okay. Now what happened? UVcon. Yeah, the spelling is wrong, right? Not unicorn, UVcon. Delete UVcon. Okay. Okay, now we are getting the output like this. We'll try with the dream. I am jumping to an ocean.
Water wave the dream. Sparkles what it might mean. Your dream could be a reflection of your desire for freedom, release, or a sense of liberation. Jumping into the ocean may symbolize taking a leap of faith, surrendering to the unknown, or embracing change. Thought balloon. Ask yourself, what are you feeling trapped or stuck in your waking life?
So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.